Chapter 1. The Faux Leather Bag. A story of a poor girl that became rich later. The biting wind, a relentless January gale, whipped Elara's dark hair across her face, stinging her cheeks with icy needles. She hunched deeper into her worn, faux leather jacket, the thin material offering little protection against the chill. The strap of her messenger bag, its faux leather peeling at the edges, dug into her shoulder, a familiar ache that mirrored the weariness in her soul. She hurried, her footsteps echoing on the icy pavement, towards the gleaming, glass-fronted building that housed Global Innovations, a monument to sleek modernity that seemed to mock her humble attire. The building, a towering skyscraper that pierced the gray winter sky, was a world away from the cramped, two-room apartment Elara shared with her mother. It was a world of polished marble floors, hushed conversations, and the clinking of expensive coffee cups, a world Elara felt both drawn to and alienated from. She was a scholarship student, a beneficiary of the company's outreach program, a fact that was both a source of pride and a constant reminder of her difference. As she stepped through the revolving doors, the warmth inside was a welcome relief, but it was a different kind of coldness that greeted her. The frosty indifference of her colleagues, the barely veiled disdain in their eyes, the condescending smile of her boss, Mr. Sterling. She was the anomaly at Global Innovations, the charity case, the one who took the bus while others drove luxury cars, the one whose clothes were a season behind, the one who ate her packed lunch at her desk while others frequented trendy bistros. She was, in their eyes, a constant reminder of the world they were so desperate to distance themselves from, a living embodiment of the social strata they preferred to ignore. Elara navigated the sleek lobby, her worn boots silent on the polished marble. She avoided eye contact with the impeccably dressed employees milling around the coffee bar, their laughter and chatter a foreign language to her. She knew their whispers, the snide remarks that followed her like a shadow. Scholarship girl, they called her, or lunchbox, their voices laced with a mixture of pity and scorn. She reached the elevators, pressing the button for the floor that housed her department, the Innovation and Development Division. The elevator doors slid open with a soft whoosh, revealing a group of her colleagues, dressed in their designer suits and perfectly coiffed hair. They glanced at her, their expressions a mixture of surprise and thinly veiled amusement. "Good morning, Elara," one of them said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Did the bus run on time today?" Elara offered a polite smile, ignoring the jab. "Yes, it did," she replied, her voice calm and even. The elevator doors closed, and she was alone with their whispers and snickers. She sighed, her shoulders slumping slightly. It wasn't easy, being the outsider, the constant target of their ridicule. But she had learned to build a wall around herself, a shield against their negativity. She reached her floor and walked towards her cubicle, a small, enclosed space that offered a semblance of privacy. It was here, in this cramped space, surrounded by files and computer screens, that Elara found solace. It was here that she could focus on her work, on her projects, on her dreams. As she settled into her chair, she noticed a small, folded piece of paper on her desk. She picked it up, her brow furrowing. It was a note, written in a childish scrawl. "Get out," it read. "You don't belong here." Elara's heart sank. It was just another attempt to intimidate her, to make her feel unwelcome. She crumpled the note and tossed it into the trash can, trying to dismiss it as the petty act of a childish prankster. But a nagging feeling of unease lingered. There was something different about this note, something more sinister than the usual pranks. It was the tone, the raw malice that seemed to emanate from the paper itself. She tried to shake it off, focusing on her work. She had a presentation to prepare for, a proposal for a new marketing strategy that she had been working on for weeks. It was a bold idea, a risky strategy that could revolutionize the company's approach to advertising. She had poured her heart and soul into it, spending countless hours researching, analyzing, and refining her proposal. She believed in her idea. She knew it had the potential to be a game changer. As she worked, Her mind kept drifting back to the note. She couldn't shake the feeling that it was a warning, a threat. She wondered who had written it, who was so determined to make her leave. Was it one of her colleagues, someone who resented her presence at the company? Or was it someone else, someone more powerful, someone who had a vested interest in keeping her down? The thought sent a shiver down her spine. She had always been careful, cautious, aware of her place in the company hierarchy. She had never tried to step on anyone's toes, never challenged the established order. She had simply focused on her work, on her dream, on her quiet climb up the corporate ladder. But now, she felt like she was being watched, scrutinized, as if she had crossed some invisible line. She wondered if her success, her growing influence in the company, had made her a target. She wondered if someone was trying to sabotage her, to derail her ambitions. The thought made her blood run cold. She knew that the corporate world was a jungle, a place where ambition and greed could drive people to do terrible things. She had heard stories, whispers of backstabbing, betrayals, and ruthless power plays. She had always tried to stay out of it, to keep her head down and focus on her work. But now, it seemed like she was being drawn into the fray, whether she liked it or not. She glanced around her cubicle, feeling a sense of paranoia creeping in. She wondered if she was being watched, if someone was listening to her conversations, reading her emails. She felt vulnerable, exposed, as if she was standing naked in front of a crowd. She decided to be more careful, to be more vigilant. She would keep her guard up, watch her back, and be prepared for anything. She would not let them intimidate her. She would not let them drive her away. She would stay. She would fight. She would prove them all wrong. She returned to her work, her focus sharpened, her determination renewed. She would not be deterred. She would not be broken. She would rise above their petty insults, their childish pranks, their veiled threats. She would achieve her dream. She would make her mark on the world. She would show them all what she was capable of. As she worked, a faint shadow seemed to cling to her, a subtle reminder of the hidden forces at play. She didn't know what the shadow represented, what secrets it held, but she knew that it was connected to her past, to her destiny, and she knew that she would have to confront it, to unravel its mysteries, to face whatever lay hidden in the darkness. The worn messenger bag, a symbol of her humble beginnings, suddenly felt heavier, filled with more than just her belongings. It carried the weight of her past, the burden of her present, and the promise of her future. And as she carried it, she knew that she was carrying more than just a bag. She was carrying her dreams, her hopes, her ambitions, and she would not let anything. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting a sterile glow on the deserted office. Elara, oblivious to the late hour, remained hunched over her desk, the glow of her computer screen illuminating her face. Files and diagrams were scattered around her, a testament to the long hours she had poured into her latest project. Her brow was furrowed in concentration, her lips moving silently as she reviewed the complex data. Years had passed since that first day at Global Innovations, the day she had stepped into the sleek, intimidating world of corporate ambition with her worn messenger bag and a heart full of trepidation. The years had been a relentless climb, a steady ascent fueled by her unwavering determination and a quiet, burning ambition. The snide remarks and petty pranks had gradually faded, replaced by a grudging respect, a recognition of her talent and her unwavering work ethic. She was no longer the charity case, the outsider. She had become an integral part of the company, her insights valued, her contributions acknowledged. She had learned to navigate the treacherous waters of corporate politics, to anticipate the undercurrents of ambition and rivalry. She had honed her skills, sharpened her intellect, and developed a keen understanding of the company's inner workings. She was still Elara, the girl from the wrong side of the tracks, but she was also Elara, the rising star, the innovator, the one to watch. Her clothes were still a little behind the trends. Her budget didn't allow for designer labels, but they were always impeccably clean and professional. She still brought her lunch from home, But now it was more often a gourmet salad or a healthy wrap than a simple sandwich. She had learned to blend in, to adapt, to play the game without compromising her values. She had even earned the grudging respect of Mr. Sterling, her once condescending boss. He still made his occasional jabs, but they lacked their former sting, his barbs blunted by Elara's undeniable success. Tonight, however, Mr. Sterling was the furthest thing from her mind. She was immersed in her work, her focus laser-sharp. She was on the verge of a breakthrough, a new marketing strategy that had the potential to revolutionize the company's approach to advertising. She had spent weeks researching, analyzing, and refining her proposal. She had pored over market data, consumer trends, and competitor strategies. She had conducted focus groups, interviewed industry experts, and brainstormed with her team. She had a vision, a bold and innovative approach that challenged the conventional wisdom. She believed in her idea. She knew it had the potential to be a game changer. But it was also a risky strategy, one that could backfire if not executed flawlessly. She had to be sure. She had to anticipate every possible contingency. She had to prepare for every challenge. She reviewed her notes, her fingers flying across the keyboard, her mind racing. She was in the zone, that state of flow where time seemed to stand still and the world outside faded away. She was so engrossed in her work that she didn't notice the shadow that fell across her desk, the figure that loomed behind her. "Working late again, Elara," a voice said, its tone a mixture of amusement and admiration. Elara startled, her head snapping up. She saw him standing there, a tall, imposing figure with a silver mane and piercing blue eyes. It was Mr. Caldwell, the company's CEO, a man known for his sharp intellect and ruthless ambition. "Mr. Caldwell," Elara said, her voice betraying a hint of surprise. "I didn't hear you come in. I'm a man of stealth," Mr. Caldwell said with a wry smile. "I like to see what my employees are up to after hours." He glanced at the files scattered across her desk, his eyes lingering on a particular folder. "Working on the Sterling account?" he asked, his voice casual. Elara hesitated, a flicker of unease crossing her face. The Sterling account was a sensitive one, a high-profile project that had been entrusted to her personally. It was also a project that had been shrouded in secrecy, its details known only to a select few. "Yes, sir," Elara replied, choosing her words carefully. "I'm just finalizing the proposal." Mr. Caldwell nodded, his eyes still fixed on the file. "I've heard good things about your work, Elara," he said. "You're a valuable asset to this company." Elara felt a surge of pride, mixed with a healthy dose of caution. She knew that Mr. Caldwell's praise was not to be taken lightly. He was a man who valued results, a man who rewarded those who contributed to the company's success. "Thank you, sir," Elara replied. "I appreciate your confidence." Mr. Caldwell smiled, a predatory glint in his eyes. "Don't thank me yet, Elara," he said. "The real test is yet to come." He turned and walked away, leaving Elara alone with her thoughts and a growing sense of unease. She couldn't shake the feeling that Mr. Caldwell's interest in the Sterling account was more than just professional curiosity. There was something else there, something hidden beneath the surface, something that made her skin crawl. She glanced at the file again, the word Sterling printed in bold letters on the cover. She wondered what secrets it held, what dangers it concealed. She wondered if she was in over her head, if she had stumbled upon something that was beyond her control. But she also felt a surge of excitement, a thrill of the challenge. She had come too far to back down now. She would face whatever lay ahead. She would uncover the truth. She would prove herself worthy of the trust that had been placed in her. She returned to her work, her focus sharpened, her determination renewed. She would not be deterred. She would not be intimidated. She would climb. She would rise. She would reach the top. The quiet climb continued. But now it was infused with a new sense of urgency, a new awareness of the hidden dangers that lurked in the shadows. The Sterling file, a symbol of both opportunity and threat, lay open on her desk, its secrets waiting to be revealed.